Hi, it's Lady Lex UK and this is another Lex Reacts video. I'm reacting to Ugly Sofa Gaming today. This is another one of our YouTube dreamers, and the video they've asked me to look at is Dreams PS4 Worth Buying? Dreams Review 2022. Now this was launched 3 months ago on the 18th of July 2022, and it's had 13,934 views, which is an amazing number to be getting on YouTube for Dreams content right now. So obviously people are enjoying watching these conversational topics, slightly controversial, maybe not. Let's have a look and see what they think. So let's see, is Dreams PS4 worth buying?
When Media Molecule's game/games engine first launched over 2 years ago, it did so with generally favourable critical reviews. Despite this, following a booming launch period, interest in the game sharply fell. Before the end of 2020, many in the general gaming populace were quick to label Dreams as dead. But fear not, as the reports of Dreams' death have been greatly exaggerated. On the contrary, Media Molecule has spent the last year growing its studio with support from PlayStation and is now the largest it's ever been. Media Molecule's public roadmap for Dreams shows there are both new game content and new creation updates currently in the works for Dreams.
So, if you're not familiar, this is Trello. This is a website where you can show people your planning processes and let people know what updates are coming to whatever it is that you're working on, and you can also use this to plan things amongst your team and things like that. So what they've done is they've launched a public board. This is not by any means what they have internally, but this is hopefully to give us some idea about what they're planning for Dreams, what they're working on, what they've launched, what is coming in the next update. It hasn't been that updated, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel particularly current most of the time. There was a huge gap where actually nothing happened on the Trello board at all, and it looked as if it had been abandoned, to be honest. But there's lots of interesting things on there, especially on the in the works section. There's lots of interesting things in there that people are very interested in. Things like Tren, for example, which is the architect, Johnny B model train game, which people are really interested in. And things like online multiplayer and exporting to 3D have been in there for forever. So it's an interesting board. Does it actually give you an idea about what they're working on? In part.
Dreams, and at a BAFTA talk near the end of 2021, Media Molecule once again confirmed they still have over 10 years of support planned for Dreams. All this to say, Dreams isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Despite this, online discussion remains fixed on what Dreams should be rather than what it actually is. If your only experience of Dreams comes from the first few months of its life way back in 2020, well, you probably think Dreams looks something like this.
Right, before we get into that, the idea that people are concerned about what Dreams isn't and not what it is. The last video we did with Project Genesis, that the thing that concerned him the most is the fact that there's a lack of multiplayer. So Ugly Sofa Gaming are gonna talk about what Dreams is rather than worrying about whether there's multiplayer or not, which is an interesting take on it, and totally valid. There's no point in going on and on and on about what Dreams has not got. I'm all for showing people what Dreams actually has, and looking at this is like, yes, people that came in 2020, you won't recognise what people are making now. It's a completely different kettle of fish.
The old saying goes, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Dreams launched with a creation suite that was intimidating for the average gamer. A 2-hour campaign that was over and done faster than you can say Project Spark, and a lackluster roster of user-generated creations thanks to a community in its infancy, which is a polite way of saying no one had any f***ing clue what they were doing. Almost 2.5 years later, Dreams is a transformed experience. As a live service game, Media Molecule has kept Dreams updated with new game content, creation mode updates, and community events. Over time, its community has matured, and both the quality and depth of its output have handily outpaced anything from the Little Big Planet series.
Well, that will annoy Little Big Planet people. Yeah, it has. I mean, the tools are so comprehensive and allows you to make things way beyond anything you could have made in Project Spark or Little Big Planet, and you can make things look really professional. And as long as you've got the ability to create original gameplay, and you can sculpt, and you're good at the logic, and you're good at the music, you can make a game that looks pretty good. PS3, PS2, PS3 standard. I mean, you're not going to make a AAA PS5 game that looks like a PS5 game because you haven't got the memory capacity. But a really good game that's comparable to anything on Steam, that's totally possible.
And by rights should be considered an indie platform powerhouse. And despite all that, not one publication or obnoxious YouTuber has bothered to give Dreams any sort of updated review in all that time. In this video, we're going to be covering exactly what's been added to Dreams in the past 2.5 years, and how the community and creations have also changed over time. We're also going into a few things we think Dreams hasn't got quite right, hopefully offering some useful feedback for Media Molecule, and helping to decide whether Dreams is worth a purchase or return visit for you in 2022.
Right, now I don't know how you're feeling about this particular video, but the cutting, the choice of clips, the voiceover work on this, what they're having to say, the clarity of the message that they're putting in that video is excellent. This is top-notch video content for Dreams YouTubers. Well done, Ugly Sofa Gaming. I wasn't aware that you made videos that weren't just your top 10s, so yeah, excellent. Let's keep going.
When Dreams first launched, it did so with very little playable content from Media Molecule. The initial offering included a handful of minigames and Art's Dream, a movie-length musical adventure which was supposed to show off a range of different genres possible to make in Dreams, but kind of ended up being platforming, point and click, and, well, platforming again. Art's Dream was generally very well received, but faced criticism for its tiny length, which would have disappointed even a blushing bride. Since then, Media Molecule has added a variety of new gameplay content, the most noteworthy of which is Ancient Dangers: A Bat's Tale. This is a first...
See, have they though? So this is the thing. They've added some more content. What have they added? Let's have a look. So we've got this, which is Ancient Dangers, which was to advertise a kit. The game itself is quite short. Then you've got Welcome Home Game, which isn't really a game. Again, a very short game for a kit. We've got a few kits. They release assets, but in terms of gameplay, nothing the size of Art's Dream. Certainly nothing bigger than Art's Dream. There are community creations that are much bigger than Art's Dream that are available. But for Media Molecule, I mean, we had some promotional stuff that came out. So we had Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is a little mini game, but that's no longer on the platform. That came off because it had a limited license. And there was the game jam with various sustainable futuristic buildings and things like that came out. Well, wasn't, not a really interesting game. I mean, there's nothing to compare with, say, Little Big Planet's platforming games in there. We haven't got anything like that from Media Molecule, which I think would be popular. I think, let's have some more of that, please, Media Molecule. Just little games, little mini platforming levels or little mini first-person shooters or little mini somethings. And if you do it regularly enough, I think you'd have an audience and maybe attract more people to the platform. I don't know. Not that the community stuff isn't good as well, but Media Molecule adds that little extra polish.
Third-person dungeon crawler with a local co-op mode. The dungeons have some great designs and are filled with puzzles, collectibles, and enemies to slay. It's hectic, light-hearted fun, and benefits from being a more focused experience than Artstream. Sadly, it's about the same length, and you'll find yourself finished with it in 2 hours or less. We know of at least one more big Media Molecule game coming to Dreams, Tren, a toy train adventure game that sees you completing puzzles and gameplay challenges for a delivery company in hyper-realistic environments. The rest of Media Molecule's game content is a bit of a mixed bag. Media Molecule's collection of minigames has been expanded since its launch, adding some new ones designed around the themes of green environments and alien worlds. At their best, they are some fun distractions, and at the worst, just a little boring. Media Molecule has also released 2 separate game collaborations with Ghostbusters Afterlife and Mercedes-Benz. The Ghostbusters game was extremely brief, designed for a promotional ad spot with the cast of the film, and was only available to play for a short time, presumably due to licensing agreements.
So there you go. It's interesting. So I paused it, I said it, and it comes up. I apologise.
The collaboration with Mercedes-Benz was a much meatier affair, an hour-long puzzle platformer with some gorgeous scenery. In a vacuum, this might have been pretty cool, as a slow-paced, chill-out sci-fi side-scroller. But as an advertisement for Mercedes-Benz, its messaging about an AI is just a little squeaky for my taste. I might not be a fan...
What did you say, little squeaky? Little squeaky? Did you say? Hang on, let me rewind that a bit.
But as an advertisement for Mercedes-Benz, its messaging about an AI is just a little squeaky for my taste.
Squeaky. I'm not quite sure what you said there.
I might not be a fancy-smancy marketing guy, but would a simple racing game not have been the obvious choice to advertise Mercedes?
Yes, exactly.
And given us all less Skynet-y vibes? If these cross-promotional partnerships help keep the lights on for Dreams, I'm all for them. At the end of the day, they are very unobtrusive, and in both examples, Media Molecule went out of their way to hire members of the Dreams community to help develop them. But at least in terms of interesting, playable content, I'm not sure they've added much value to Dreams.
Now, the creator of the Mercedes-Benz game was not very happy with the way they were treated by Media Molecule after they did the work for that. Whether or not, I mean, there are plenty of people with great talent that Media Molecule can pool and make their stuff for them. And some of them will do it for free, but it wouldn't be fair to do that to people when there are people being paid to make, adverts, basically, especially for things like Mercedes-Benz and Ghostbusters. But I mean, there are plenty of people that would be happy to work with Media Molecule, so it's not like there isn't talent enough to make these games, so yeah.
Rounding off the Media Molecule game content is Mega Penguin. Media Molecule released the opening 20-minute level of this colourful platformer back in 2021, and then invited the Dreams community to work together to make their own levels, which Media Molecule strings together one by one to make a full game. This sort of large-scale collaborative project fits Dreams to a T and is truly a unique experience. When Dreams first launched, community creations were criticised for being incomplete.
Right. The thing about Mega Penguin is you didn't get an awful lot of time. It was basically a game jam amount of time to make a level, and then they strung some together in a little bit of an incoherent fashion, where you couldn't get at things separately, and it was all a bit higgledy-piggledy, and that was it. So anybody that made any Mega Penguin levels and missed the deadline for the first, they said they would add to it, but I mean, I don't think they have. So yeah, it was a great idea. I'm not sure the actual Mega Penguin challenge level making thing worked as well as it could have done if it had been organised a bit better. But this is the way all these things work in Dreams. It's all like a really great idea. I'm not sure that the final product is exactly how it should be.
Complete, short, and generally of poor quality. It didn't help that content creation used to be very poorly organised. In an age where Netflix and YouTube have got what they display on your home screen down to a science, in Dreams you were stuck with a static list of the most popular games and whatever was trending, which in the early days usually meant low quality clickbait content. Media Molecule has since put a great deal of effort into turning this around. In 2022, the homepage is completely transformed, with live tiles showing you handpicked quality creations, all filtered by Media Molecule's newly established creation team. These dreams are then fed into a genre page and then subgenres, which you can further filter by things like release date and likes. It's very tidy and much easier to find games and creations worth your time. It's not just...
But no date filter. And this is the thing, it's all very well searching for things by thumbs up. You would think that would give you the best stuff, but it doesn't, because all the likes that used to happen in the early stages of Dreams, so 2019 and 2020, and from 2021 onwards, the amount of likes on the amount of plays and likes that go on stuff is so small that you get a list of horror games. If you sort them by thumbs up, you're going to get old stuff first and then the new stuff a lot further down the list, and you can't swap the lists around. There's no inverted list selections. You can't filter by date. So you can't say, I just want to see stuff from 2022 and in this list, I want to see the newest stuff. That's not going to happen. You click on newest and for some reason it doesn't work. It says there is nothing to be found, which is a little bit of a problem. So the idea is there, but in practice it doesn't really work.
It's down to Media Molecule though. Both the quantity and quality of output has never been better. Finished experiences used to be few and far between in Dreams, with creators way too eager to share the first 10 minutes of their project. But for the most part, the community has matured, and it's not just the creation tools they've learned. They've learned what it takes to bring a game to completion, and frankly, they've finally been given a realistic amount of development time to start flexing. Every time you log into Dreams, there is a brand new treasure trove of experiences. A Mario-style platformer polished to near perfection. A Call of Duty Zombies clone which is feature complete. A Zelda-inspired action-adventure that has you battling bosses, platforming and puzzling across numerous dungeons. Don't think that everything in Dreams is just derivative of other games either. One reason indie games are so popular is because they can offer experiences you don't often see. Like the artist who translated their wonderfully weird and macabre art style into a gory first-person shooter. The point...
That'll be War Garble. Yes, very, very strange shooter, that one.
World War II cinematic narrative that sees you switching between modern day and trench warfare.
That's the war to end
and these
wars.
Aren't tiny experiences either, with quality creations now ranging anywhere between 20 minutes and 5 hours in length. If you own a VR headset, the value of Dreams goes up even further. What other game sees you exploring the Hogwarts castle in virtual reality one moment, and then jumping onto a Tron light cycle the next? I am not a big fan of puzzle games, so I didn't make it far into this factory building game. My reaction speeds aren't quite good enough to chart on this parkour first-person shooter that lets you switch between 4 different weapons in chaotic gameplay.
Okay, I like the fact that you're showing all these clips. I think it would be nice if you'd put the name of the game in the bottom somewhere. Because you're not mentioning the names of these games. It's all very well. People are seeing these and go, that looks fabulous, where can I play it? And you don't know because they haven't said who it's by or what it's called. So these videos are great. Don't get me wrong, but I think putting some sort of indication about who these people are and what this game is would be helpful.
But I love the Telltale style animal detective game that sees you trying to solve a murder. I'm hooked on a futuristic samurai animated series reminiscent of Samurai Jack.
He's literally avoiding
in 2022, as long as you're not searching for a AAA experience, Dreams seriously has something for everyone. Media Molecule highlights some of the best content in Dreams as Media Molecule picks. This impressive list has recently had its 2,000th entry. If you want some...
There aren't actually 2,000 picks though. I counted them all. I couldn't get past 1,700, so I don't know where the 300 are that they say that are in there. They might be unlisted games, but they reckon it's 2,000. It's not. There isn't 2,000 there. I've made a collection of all the picks by year. You can check that out. Yeah. They made the big announcement. Sometimes, you know when you get these shops that do the 1 millionth customer, and well done, you're my 1 millionth customer. They're not really. They've made a decision. We're going to say it's our 1 millionth customer. There's no actually. It's hardly ever the case. So this is highly suspicious to me that I couldn't find 2,000 picks, and I went through the lot.
Figures to chew on. If you played each one of those creations for only 5 minutes, it would take you a full 7 days to finish the list, not breaking for eating, sleeping, or even taking a shit. And remember, that list is a very tiny, subjective fraction of what Dreams has to offer. This is a good moment to point out that Dreams has never been sold as a full price game, and these days you can pick it up on sale seemingly every other month. In terms of value for money, even if all you intend to do with Dreams is play games, I promise you it will earn your money a dozen times over. But let's not forget, playing is only half of what Dreams is all about.
I wish that playing was only half what Dreams is all about. For most people, Dreams play is the fraction of what Dreams is about. And it seems to only attract the people that want to make stuff in Dreams. They want the creative tool. And it is a horrendous shame that there isn't more of a player base for Dreams, because as you can see, there's tons and tons of games. I let some kids loose on Dreams in my house over the summer, and let them choose. I pointed out a few games to them, let them choose what they wanted to play, and they were playing on that for 4 hours perfectly happily, not getting bored because there was so much variety. And for £25 or whatever it is that Dreams is costing right now, that's crazy value for money. I mean, you can't afford to spend 50, 60, 70, 80, £100 for a game each time, and you might not even enjoy that one game. You buy Dreams, there's hundreds and hundreds of games, and kids have got such a short attention span that the fact that these games are maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes long is perfect. It's not a problem. It's not something to be thrown at Dreams. Go, oh, all these games are just mini games. Kids don't care, because they play that mini game and they're on to the next thing, and it's a lot of fun for them. So yeah, I would recommend Dreams for the play aspect. Now they're going to talk about create. Let's have a look what they think about that.
The creation mode in Dreams has always been super impressive. With 3D sculpting, animation, music creation, and a tactile logic system standing in for coding, there's little on the market so encompassing at Dreams' price point and accessibility. The question has always been, who is it for? There's no denying that if you're dabbling with a real dream of indie game development, an engine that allows you to export and sell your games is the more practical choice. And yet for the average gamer, the Dreams creation kit is an intimidating beast. Dreams launched with a suite of tutorials that managed to feel both frustratingly slow and also somehow incomplete. In its early days, making advanced creations meant experimentation and taking part in Dream's fledgling social community to share tips and tutorials.
I have skipped through only the tutorials that I needed to in order to get into the game. After I'd already been playing the game for nearly for a year before the launch, so I didn't feel I needed them, and they were tedious. So I skipped through as quickly as I possibly could. So I've never seen any of these. But everybody keeps telling me they couldn't make head and tail of them, and they've gone to YouTube to look for tutorials there. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about the tutorials, really. I think the childishness of them put some adults off, and some kids, actually. But yeah, what else? What else could they do? No tutorials would have been worse, which is what happened in Project Spark. No tutorials. You had to work it out for yourself. So this is 100 times better, but I don't know. All I keep getting on my channel is, thank God that you've done this tutorial. Thank you, it's really helped me. I didn't really get on with the medium molecule ones. So I like I say, I haven't played them, so I don't know if they're bad or good or indifferent.
With the release of Ancient Dangers: A Bat's Tale, Media Molecule launched gameplay kits. Ready-made packs of assets, puppets and logic you could use to make different types of games, such as 2D platformers, mini-golf, and even new Ancient Dangers.
Now, when they launched this, I was concerned that this would be a terrible situation and that all we would get then was these kit games over and over and over again. So you go into Dreams and that's all you got, kit, 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 kit. And that hasn't happened, and I'm really shocked, because I was convinced that what would happen is as soon as they start launching these game kits where people can just make their own stuff from assets and everything, that we would just get carbon copies of the same game over and over again. We don't. It didn't happen, and although the Imp Challenge games, things like Ancient Temple and Dreamverse Dash and things like that, they are still made in huge numbers because people are trying to do the Imp quests. These kits here, you don't see people use them at all, and that's a problem. It's like, because they thought that would be a good thing to put in. I thought it would be detrimental. It wasn't detrimental, and it wasn't a good thing either. It's sort of like people were sort of like, nah.
Levels. These kits come with a free mode for you to pick things apart, or a guided mode which does a good job of gamifying the creation process. The pool of community assets has become invaluable. Much like the creation tools in Little Big Planet, Dreams now has a massive collection of assets for you to build your games with. These days, it's more than possible for you to make a game using nothing other than these pre-made creations, kit bashing a game into existence. This style of creation is much closer to the drag, drop and play approach of Little Big Planet, and takes a lot of the sting out of Dreams' intimidation. In terms of feature updates to the tools, easily the biggest update was the virtual reality update that provided new tools for gamers to create and play games in VR. But this update came in July 2020, and since then there really hasn't been a truly eye-catching feature update to come to Dreams. That's not to say Media Molecule hasn't been busy.
The VR update, it was popular for about 4 to 5 weeks, and then the content just dropped off completely, because I used to do a weekly chart and I kept the VR separate. So I had a VR chart, because if you don't have a VR headset, you can't actually play some of these games. If they're listed as VR only, you can't even see them. So it's not a matter of like, you can put them on but you can't play them. You couldn't see them at all. It wouldn't let you in. So I had a separate chart for VR, which I couldn't play because I haven't got a VR headset. And after about 5 or 6 weeks, I didn't have enough content to make a chart of 10 VR games. So there wasn't even 10 being released that was worth looking at. So I had to stop doing it. So it wasn't that popular. It was like an instant hit of popularity when it launched because it was something new, and then nothing. Probably because there's not enough people with a VR headset. It is a very expensive bit of kit.
Dreams has had consistent updates since launch, but nothing that makes for a sexy headline. Instead, it's been belt and braces kind of work. While everyone else is flapping about asking what's next for Dreams, Media Molecule have put their heads down and focused on quality of life improvements for creators, which in a way shows real confidence in the future of Dreams. Why else would they be diligently working on the foundations unless they were building an engine made to last? And there have been some real gems out of these improvements. Most recently is the option to disable the often criticised fuzzy appearances of sculptures, meaning a much easier way to make games with a cleaner, less abstract art style. Separate to the game updates are the regular community events Media Molecule puts on through the year. These take the form of end-of-year award shows, Halloween haunted houses, and what's become the highlight of the year, DreamsCon, a virtual in-game E3 show floor-like convention when the community creates booths showing off their latest projects, demos and trailers. These events are a collaborative effort between the community and Media Molecule, and the production quality of these has improved significantly over the years and have become quite the spectacle. They're so well received by the community, they've spawned a number of unofficial events.
That's the thing as well. The complexity around Dreamscom and the environment that they put these booths in has become bigger than the booths. And sometimes I feel it distracts from the booths. There's too much going on around it that the booths themselves become less impactful. And let's face it, you want Dreamscom to be about the community creations that they're trying to advertise and not Media Molecule's faff. The trouble is, I do like it. It's all the MM faff. It does look cool, and it's fun to play and all the rest of it. I just feel like sometimes some of these booths are like lost amongst all the colourful extras that is going on around it. But as a personal taste thing, no, other people, the bigger, the bolder, the better.
Such as Dreams Fest and in-game music festival. One criticism is these events don't take place on any sort of set calendar. These things must be a mad, complicated undertaking for Media Molecule, but deadlines for entries can be quite tight and sometimes seem to spring out of nowhere. Communication between Media Molecule and the community, especially in regards to Dream's future, is increasingly becoming a bit of a sticking point. The community was hungry for an announcement of something in 2021, and in 2022 they are positively starving. Media Molecule does have a public Trello board outlining upcoming features for Dreams, but it's obvious it doesn't list everything they're working on. It's unreasonable to expect full disclosure on things like a potential PS5 version or a hypothetical PC port, as it's ultimately Sony PlayStation who decides how and when the big ticket stuff gets revealed. But for things like online multiplayer, which was a feature teased before launch, I think it's fair to say we're way past the point where a transparent update probably should have come. This would certainly be true for any other live service game. Dreams had a famously long development cycle. It really is hard to know if the next big update is just around the corner, or maybe even half a decade away.
Looking at these...
The constant mystery...
Looking at this old stuff, this old footage, this is pre-beta, pre-early access. It's almost a completely different game. That looks way different to what we've got now. This painterly style, this soft clay look, that's gone. It's not It's not something you see a lot of in Dreams anymore. It used to be everywhere, but now it's definitely a little bit more crisp, a little bit more smooth plastic toys and that sort of thing, that sort of look. The low poly look stuff is in, and people are making 8-bit games as well, which looks so far away from this. It's almost unrecognizable as the same game.
Leads to a lot of speculation both within and outside the community, which contributes to this focus on where Dreams is going rather than what it is right now, which we mentioned at the top of the video. As it is right now, Dreams is a remarkable game making engine with a small but incredibly engaged community that keeps the game bursting with an ever increasing library of quality indie games and creations. It manages to be both a wonderful kit to start learning the fundamentals of game development or a powerful set of tools for hobbyists to show off with, but also something that really should appeal to anyone with a creative outlet, be it art, music, writing or acting. If what we have now is Dreams for the foreseeable future, it's time for PlayStation to proudly plant the flag in the ground and say so, and end the endless speculation that accomplishes nothing but keep gamers hesitant to dip their toe in the water in what is and continues to be one of the most unique and inspiring games PlayStation or anybody else has ever made.
So there we go. They're clearly in love with Dreams, just as I am, and yes, you can just see from all those amazing clips that they've picked there, the variety, the quality, the different things that you can get in Dreams, and the amount of quality games and creations that you can make and play and enjoy. So I think everybody should have a copy of Dreams. Maybe it should be released with the PlayStation. So everybody's got it and we have that opportunity. But I tell you what they did not mention in here. I mean, it mentioned multiplayer and PC porting in passing. At no point did they talk about the fact that there's a lot of people who, yes, as a hobbyist, they want to make Dreams. They want to make games and artwork and what have you. But there's a really quite vocal subset of dreamers who get frustrated by the fact that they spend all this time putting into making something and there is no monetary award for it at all. There's no way of asking people to pay to play your game. There's no advertising YouTube style options on this, so there's no way to actually get revenue. And for some people, spending a lot of time and effort making something for people to enjoy for free is a problem for them, because they need that time to make things that can make money. And in the state of the world as it is today, spending time doing a hobby that costs you money and doesn't actually make you money can be problematic for a lot of people. So you can sort of see why some people are going, look, Dreams was fun for a while, but now that I feel confident that I can make games, I'm going off to Unity or Blender or whatever, and I'm making things there, and then I can put it on Steam and make a little bit of money. Dreams doesn't have that option, so that wasn't part of this video. Is Dreams PS4 worth buying? They are 100% yes in 2022. We're nearly in 2023. Is it still worth buying now? I mean, this was done in the summer. God, yes, absolutely. In fact, the other week I played so many amazing games that got launched. It was like an embarrassment of riches. It was like, where are all these games coming from? Suddenly, people that have been working on things for a year, 2 years, their games are starting to come out now, and the quality is top notch. So absolutely, the best time to come We've got brand new tools in. The sticker tool has allowed us to do more texturizing, and people are coming up with new ways of doing things in dreams that look realistic and give dreams a much more professional polish. So yeah, definitely worth buying. Great video, well done, Ugly Sofa Gaming. I'll put a link to their channel and this video in the description, so check out their channel, maybe subscribe to them. They've got lots of content. I might do some others as well later on. I will come back to them, but next time I'll pick another Dreams YouTuber and react to their video. It's not necessarily going to be an article. A lot of Dreams YouTubers are tutorial makers, so I might follow a tutorial or two. So I hope you come back for those. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.